Hello, everyone, and welcome to Evolve with Maida. Today we have a new guest, and this is Andrew Bolton. Am I pronouncing it right?
Doing a fantastic job. Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you. Well, thanks for accepting the invitation. And do you want to start maybe by introducing yourself to the audience so that they could get to know you better? This is how I always start my podcasts. And yeah,
So thank you for having me. I'm Andrew Bolton. I'm the co-founder and CEO of TechRescue, 24-hour customer support hotline. And you can reach us at 855-250-8586. And we handle everything from video games to printers to Bluetooth. I mean, we've handled a lot of different things. The world is changing. Senior citizens are a lot different than what they used to be. Um, Instead of shuffleboarding, grandma's on Tinder. It's a brave new world out there.
awesome. That sounds like a lot of work, though.
You know, it's not really all that much work. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just helping people. Everybody's been in that situation where you need to get in touch with either the bank, the insurance company, your lease payment, and you have the maze of robots. You know, press one for English, two for Spanish. You have to get through all these things, and all you just want to do is just have somebody that helps you. You just want
Yeah.
to talk to somebody. When you're in that situation, that's all you really want is just help. And that's why Tech Rescue is here. Because too many times we've been in a situation with my father, with my mother, with my grandmother, and I have to stop whatever I'm doing. I have to take care of this because, you love them and,
Obviously.
you're going to take care of your family. But at the same time, it's to go see them or to do something with them is, 15 minutes of conversation and then trying to figure out what it is that they want because obviously they're not explaining it the way that you think it is. They're explaining it the way that they know how it is. So now you have to decipher that. So that could be another 15 minutes. Then another, let's say maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes to solve a problem. And then it takes longer to leave than it does to come in. So your day
Yeah.
of just helping them, you turn it into 2.5, 3 hours. 3 hours in the day from noon to 3, you gotta get back to the office, you gotta get ready to go home. I mean, you killed 3 hours of your day.
Yeah.
That's not small pocket change.
Yeah. And time is so valuable and shortening shortening it by maybe just doing something like tech rescue, maybe that will
So,
make it easier for
if you were to think
everyone.
about it, right? So, if you were to call Tech Rescue every day, comparatively, you would be, let's say the max, you would say, let's say 30 to 45 minutes, so 45, 90. You would across the entire week, you're covering about maybe 20 hours, 20 hours across the entire week if you were doing it multiple times a day. And then versus, Tech Rescue, where it might be only 5 hours throughout the week because you have a 24 hours hotline that you can get in touch with. So, believe it or not, it adds up.
So I'm assuming that tech rescue is based in the United States.
Yes. So we're based in the Carolinas. Our sales and marketing team is out of California. Our development team is out of Las Vegas. So we're 100% US.
That's awesome. Do you have any international helplines, or that's only based in the US?
So right now we're only based in the US, but we are in talks with a couple of different places around the world that can host our international call center. Proof of concept that way. Um, I will admit the way that the economy has been moving these past couple of weeks, it's hard to predict one way or another, but
Yeah.
we have a goal. We have a goal. It's just seeing if the administration and the economic landscape, is conducive to those goals.
Yeah. How is the current administration affecting tech rescues, economy and financial issues?
So we rely heavily on the consumer index. So for those who don't know, the consumer index is a basically a graph and a chart. It's a study on how consumers feel about the market. Obviously, when consumers feel much bullish or positive or optimistic, they're going to spend more. They're going to be willing to take out loans. They're going to be willing to take on bigger purchases. But if the consumer index is to the negative, you know, people start thinking about what's more important: food, gas, housing. Where we are considered a luxury item, that plays a big factor into how we go about, our marketing and how we go
Interesting.
about
Yeah.
our fiscal plans for the next quarter, for the next annual quarter, for the next year. The administration makes it tough because it's hard to read, where they want to go, what new policies they're going to bring out,
Mhm.
not to be too political, but who they're going to fire. They're
Yeah.
trying to fire the Federal Reserve chairman. You know, the what you know, it these disruptions and distractions take away from the US economy. Businesses in America are trying to see a long-term trajectory, and we don't like it, and I'll be the first to speak for my own, is I don't like all this uncertainty into the future because I wanna hire, I wanna bring on, I want to expand, and if I don't know what the future is gonna hold, I can't make good, rational decisions.
I get that. It sounds very tough, especially with the political climate changing every 4 years. I guess it's also like you don't know what it's gonna be. Is it gonna be the same ones winning? Is it gonna be the Democrats? Is it gonna be the Republicans? That maybe plays a huge role into the economy.
In defense of both parties, I really don't think anybody really understood how far this would go. Um,
No,
and to defend myself in that statement is that when I look at the presidency of Donald Trump, we look at it very singularly. You have to look at why he's here. The American consumer was so angry, so frustrated, so off put on the way our system is run, the way that our government is handled, the way that we go about providing for our citizens. We had gotten so tired that when this charismatic, very different personality showed up on the scene, the American the American voter voted for him in an astronomical amount. Only due to the fact is that the American consumer was so tired of what was being done that this completely opposite of what we knew was what we valued as a better option as a group collective. So in defense of the two parties, I don't think anybody was prepared for how drastic things could get.
but I think also with charismatic leaders and everything, that you should always expect. I mean, considering from the history, you should always expect big changes. And I think, though, he is trying to make everything more US based, if that's my understand. I don't know if I have gotten a wrong understanding of his
His
policies, but
intentions are that, but unfortunately, I just maybe somebody smarter knows it better than I do, but I just don't see how that math equates. All right,
I
so
have no idea either
so
about
say,
that
all
part.
right, well, if you were to go ahead and say you could snap your fingers and make it happen, what site are you going to pick? Are you going to pick a brand new site? Or are you going to remod, any of the factories from California to the Rust Belt, Columbus, Ohio, all the way to New York, New Jersey? Which facilities are you going to revamp? All right, so you need the permits. You need to talk to
Yeah.
your state, local, federal governments. You need the permits. You need the zoning. Then you need to get in touch with the local Department of Labor and the Department of Transportation, because now you need to lay out a groundwork plan for these trucks to go through certain areas.
Yeah.
That needs licensing. That needs a weigh station. Are we going to be building new weigh stations, or are we going to use the ones already intact? Then on top of it, who's going to build these people? Who's going to build these facilities? Well, we have people. Okay, who's trained in building that type of facility? You want to build a cobalt facility. Okay, who's trained in that? Who has licenses? Who has experience? How long does that take to get? Because if you want America based, well, then they got to go to school here in America, and we don't have any of that schooling. So we
You
got
have
to
a
build
great
it,
point
and then we got
there.
to send people to it. So I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but somebody needs to say, okay, what's the realistic timeline?
Yeah. Yeah. And what's the plan? There needs to be a very detailed plan to be able to even exercise it out. Yeah.
If
I
you
mean,
have a
it's a
plan,
complicated
the other issue
issue,
is you don't have the bodies.
but also like who is the person getting all the consequences? It's the daily random guy that goes at the store and just tries to buy, I don't know, food, groceries, and
Well,
then
and
just
that's
goes to a 9 to 5 job, and
so here's the problem with that philosophy.
you're cutting
This is
out.
nothing that this is nothing though. There's some hard facts that we as a people need to accept. Number one is that not everybody's going to make it.
No.
Let's first clear the air on this. Not everybody's going to make it. There's no prize in life for second place. There are those who made it and are successful, and there are those who are scraping by and living, and then there are those who don't. And that's usually a one-sided argument. Um, the second is there's a hard reality that we just don't have the infrastructure, the capability, and the people to get this done. Our country is based and built off of outsourced labor. We outsource labor. That's the whole shtick behind it. We outsource labor. So we're able to have all these things because we're able to bring in cheaper labor from Canada, from Mexico, and from the South American regions. We can bring in labor and run these type of facilities.
Yeah,
There's nobody here in America that's going to do it.
that's the thing with
You try to find Americans that are willing to pick cherries, oranges, apples, carrots, potatoes for $3 an hour, 12, $5 an hour, $3 to $5 an hour for a 15-hour shift. That's not going to happen.
no,
Sorry,
it's
it's
not
not.
realistic.
No. So, in the sense of that argument that we've gotten numerous times, AI, well, then, yeah, machines and AI are going to do that. Because if I buy a machine at $1 million, I can depreciate that on a 10-year basis on a straight line depreciation. That's 100,000 a year. How many workers do I have per season at $3 to $5 an hour? The cost of housing, the cost of everything. Over the course of that 10 years, I'll probably either balance myself out or I'll be on the positive side with the machine.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense when you put it like that. But getting back to the tech rescue, when you start a business, is this tech rescue? You are the CEO here. Have you also started tech rescue, or you're just the CEO?
No, I found it. I founded it with my mother.
You're
Co-founder.
founder also of tech
Correct.
rescue. Amazing. Then I can ask you this question. When you start a business, what's the first step you take, assuming you already have the idea, the plan, and you have everything detailed out in a notebook or wherever you put it? What's the first step you take?
First step I would take is go see a mentor. There's a couple of websites like growthmentor.com. Um, Go to your local your college that you had an advisor to, hand your business plan, get it looked at, make sure that you understand what you're getting involved in. The next step would be is to pray and really
Right.
pray hard on it. And what I mean by that is being an entrepreneur is not easy. The deal with the devil that you make is that if you get it right, that's the big if. If you get it right, you bought yourself freedom. You can do whatever you want, wherever you want, however you want, whenever you want. You want to fly off to Fiji? Who's going to tell you no?
I think that's the dream everybody has. Quit
Yeah,
the nine to
but
five and fly to Fiji.
it comes with a price. It comes with a very heavy price.
What's the price?
You will doubt everything you've ever done. You will spend every dollar that you have. You will spend nights wide awake in bed. You will be up early in the morning because you can't sleep. You'll be working 24 hours a day. You'll lose friends. You'll lose relationships. You're going to lose your girlfriend. You're going to lose your boyfriend. You are going to lose everything because in order to get to where this is, not everybody's gonna go with you. And it's a very interesting person, it's a very rare person that goes the entire way with you
But
because
then are those people even worth it if they're not gonna be there for you when you're grinding to success?
well, if they fall off, they fall off, and it's no harm to them. They just if you think about climbing up into the atmosphere, right? Everybody wants to go for a balloon ride until it keeps getting higher past the point that they're comfortable with, and
Yeah.
eventually everybody starts jumping out of the balloon. You're going up all the way because this is your balloon, this is your idea, this is your vision. It takes a very different type of person and a very interesting person to sit there in the basket with you and go up into space just to see what happens. Most people jump off because it's too high, it's too cold, it's too dangerous, it's too
Yeah.
whatever it might be. That's fine, but this is where you're gonna need to test yourself. This is where you're gonna need to believe in yourself is when everybody starts leaving. Maybe they know something I don't. That's one way of looking at it. The other is they can't go. They can't do what you're about to do because you're not them and they're not you.
And maybe it's not their dream.
No, no, and that's the hard lesson entrepreneurs need to go is that once you think that you have these people in your life that they believe in what you believe. They don't. They believe in you, they cheer you on, but they don't see what you see. So they're not gonna go all the way. They can't. They can't go all the way because they don't see the end. You do.
You see the vision or you have the vision. But have you had somebody who believed in you all the way?
Ma. Ma believed in it all the way. She's a 50% owner.
Really?
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah, she's 50% owner.
that's so beautiful.
She believed in it, and, we have a very good working relationship. She's more practical, I'm more visionary. We bounce ideas off each other all the time, and honestly, I don't think I could really do it with anybody else but her because the relationship that we have is one that's really dynamic.
Really? What makes it dynamic?
Well, with TechRescue, I always wanna push and see how far it can go, and she'll give me the realistic standpoint, like, "Okay, this is gonna cost this much. We only have this much amount of time before we have to roll into something else." So, one of the things that I wanted to do right now is before our Christmas run, which we're working on right now, the holiday season, I wanted to do I wanted to do it as a tutorial. That was
Mhm.
gonna take some money and take some effort. Well, that would come out of the budget for the holiday season, and we wanna
Yeah.
have a really big holiday budget. So it's that compromise, it's that conversation that puts everything in perspective, is that left to my own devices, I might do more than what I should be doing and not have enough for what I want in the end, which is the real thing. Having somebody in your corner that can give you that kind of guidance is priceless because somebody thinks like you and knows you and can anticipate that. And more importantly, has the same goals as you do. So they're going to protect you.
And also on top of it, she's your mom.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's
like, that's I mean, that's one of the most beautiful things I've heard today. I would love to have a business with my mother or father, even though I would love it more with my father because he's a little bit more visionary.
okay.
And if I had it
You're
with my
more
mom,
tactical.
yeah, we would both have the feminine touch to it. So
Okay.
I we would miss the male touch to it, if I can call it like that.
If you have I mean, if you have a vision, you don't really need a male or a female touch, but if you have a vision, it's easy enough to go for it. You just chase it down.
What do you do when, your vision is too big? Because there are a lot of people out there who have such big dreams, and, everyone when you tell people those dreams or that vision, they start laughing with you, they start laughing at you and bully you even.
So
What
number
do you
1,
do?
no dream is too big. That's number 1. Number 1, there's nothing too big. The only thing that's limited is your imagination.
Yeah.
If I mean, take a look at Elon Musk. I mean, the man built a car company and he's a rocket company. I mean,
Yeah, that's crazy.
so that's the first thing on the table is there's nothing impossible.
I think
Second, be
being
careful who
Elon
you tell
Musk is impossible.
yeah. The second piece is be careful who you tell your dreams to, because not
Be
everybody
careful
supports your dream.
how?
What?
What did you say?
I said, "Be careful who you tell your dreams to, because not everybody will support that."
Yeah, that I totally agree with, actually. I've experienced it firsthand.
Be very
Some
careful who
people
you tell your dreams to.
yeah, some people will laugh at them, minimize them, or make it seem like they're nothing. But also sometimes those kind of people motivate you at the same time because you're like, "I'm gonna show you that I actually can do
Well,
this."
that depends on the person. If that person
Mm,
has that type of mindset, then yeah, it definitely is a motivation. But most most people in today's world don't have that mindset. They get told their idea is stupid and then they destroy themselves and they say, "Yeah, you're
yeah.
right, that was stupid." And they never even give it a second thought. Me personally, I find that very disheartening and sad that you're willing to give up your dream on something because somebody doesn't see what you see.
I think
Who
it's
cares?
also about trying and failing, and a lot of people when they fail, they stop and they are like, "Oh, but they were right. Those people were right." And the people who actually succeed, they never stop at the first failure or second or third
Well,
until they
first off,
actually
you're gonna fail more than 10 times. If you're doing an entrepreneurial venture, you're gonna fail more than just 10 times. And you're very lucky, very, very lucky if you are less than that.
Yeah,
But if you walked away from your dream, then you didn't believe in it. You didn't believe in it.
yeah.
Because if you have something, think of it this way. If you got a dream to, let's say, open a store, think about your life now, the job that you work at, the life that you have right now. You can't stand it. You don't like it. Well, unless you're willing to give up everything, you're never going to break that ceiling. You got to be willing to go past the point of hurt, past the point of failure. You can't be afraid of it because if you're afraid of it, you're never gonna attempt it.
How did you push yourself through your first failure?
I lost my first million when I was 22. I went to rehab. I lost my second set of millions at 30. I lost my second set of millions at 30. The value of one of our companies that I was a director of sales, VP of sales to, I was worth about 20 million at the time. I lost
Wow.
that. That one rocked me because I got divorced and
Awesome.
I lost everything. So to answer your question is how do you get up is for me personally, I had some people in my life that I couldn't disappoint. I made promises to that I couldn't disappoint. So it started off with an attitude of like, I don't care if I'm angry about it. I don't care if I'm hurting about it. I don't care if nobody at wherever I'm working likes me. I made that commitment regardless of what anybody feels about me or whatever everybody thinks about me. I'm going to get up. I don't know how, but I'm going to get up. And it took a little bit. It took some time. It took some help. And eventually I stood back up and dusted myself off and kept on looking for that next piece. And here we are. If you don't have those kind of people in your life, then one of the two things you're going to have to ask yourself is this: are you happy where you are? And if not, what are you willing to do to get out? Because if you
That's
can't answer
beautiful.
that second question, then don't go down this road.
No, yeah. That's awesome. But that leads me to another question. One of the sentences in your bio said that you're focused on, and quote, scale, legacy, and impact. I wanted to know, I was focused more on the word legacy. I wanted to know what legacy means to you.
Legacy means that my name would be remembered way after I'm done, way after I'm gone.
That's beautiful. Do you think you're there yet?
No,
What do you
not
think it
even
will
close.
take for you to go there where people will remember you? I for sure will remember this interview.
I would have to ask myself, what have I done that shaped the world a little differently? What good have I done in the world? Did I donate a school? Did I help build a pipeline for water? Did I what because there's a lot of that kind of conversation out in the podcast world, on YouTube,
Mhm, mhm.
boss and alpha and, legacy.
Yeah, I'm
What have you done to make the world a better place?
yeah, that's a good question. The impact you leave in the world. But hey, you just in the beginning of this interview, you told me about how you're helping with Tech Rescue, and how
Oh,
you're
that's small stuff. That's small.
I don't think it's small because I
It
think you're
is
saving a
because
lot of people's
that's one
time.
aspect. That's one aspect. Something that we can do is we can put together a fund for teachers. We have teachers that don't make anywhere near the amount of money that they should be doing. So why are we relying on the US government? Why can't private sectors put together a fund? I mean, we have all these trillions of dollars on Wall Street. Small businesses could put together a fund, make it the teachers fund, put it in a small 30-year annuity at 5.37%. We all donate, let's say, whatever to be about 10 million at $10 million at 5.37% a year. We're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of about nine to $8,000 a month, nine to 8,000, $10,000 a month net tax free. Donate that to a school, a charter, an impoverished school. $10,000 a month to a school could buy paper, could buy all the markers, all the crayons, get kids food for lunches. There's a lot of things that we can do that we don't need anybody's permission to do so.
No,
That's what I
no.
mean by what are you doing making the world a better place? What are you doing to take a stand and move the needle back the opposite way? So you want to do a legacy, you want to be remembered? I ask anybody out there in terms of business, what are you doing to make the world a better place? Tech Rescue is just the start of it. That's how it all builds. What comes next is what can we do with that kind of profit? What can we do with that kind of power? Where can we start putting that good work towards? What needs to immediately happen? There's a lot of things wrong with the world today. And
Yeah.
my biggest issue with the world today is I see a lot of things wrong, and I'm not seeing a lot of people grabbing a broom and a shovel and start cleaning it up. I hate to say it, everybody, there's nobody coming. There's nobody coming.
I think about that a lot actually, especially about all of these wars going on in the world, and especially the kids actually getting all the worst of it. Uh, and I just think why like I mean if all the billionaires would get together and they would
And so there's a big difference between war and then injustice and laziness. War, we're biologically creatures of that. I know it's not the type of podcast to have that conversation, but realistically,
it's okay.
human species are the most violent creatures on the planet. We are. That's what we do. So war is
Unfortunately.
always going to be there. It's a part of who we are. That's part of our DNA. War. That's
That
what we do.
sucks though. Why?
Every creature on the planet fights for territory. Every creature. Ants, dolphins, orcas, algae, uh, sauropods. Everybody fights for territory. We're no different.
Mhm. And that sucks actually. But I just think about the kids. I That's my weak point. I'm like that's where I get hit the hardest. And I don't know if it's just an empath thing or something like that, but it terrifies me that that's something that happens. And my husband, he's a soldier, so he tells me, "You're so naive when you think like that because that's not how the world works."
It's not. But
And I'm like, "I know, but but I still can't help feeling like that."
and that's not wrong because we need people like that in the world. We need people like that in the world to remind us that it's not cold. It's not a crazy place. Although it is, everybody serves their own purpose. Not everybody can be a soldier. Some people have
Yeah.
to be the kind ones. Somebody has to be the one that puts a blanket around somebody that shows that the world that we still have humanity.
I mean,
There's a place for everything. Not everything is always so black and
black
white.
and white, yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, you were talking about giving or making a fund for teachers. I think that was so beautiful. I always think if I had a lot of money and if I would like to donate it somewhere or something, I would like to make like for
You
instance,
don't
if
need
I
to have a lot of money. You can go GoFundMe. You can build a GoFundMe page and put something
well,
together.
that's a good idea.
There is no channel or avenue that cannot be taken to help the world. There's always something that we can do. You can go online, you can write a letter, you can there's things that we can do. Tech Rescue is just one of those things of us helping out in a need in a situation, which is what business is. So for
Mhm.
anybody out there that's looking to start a business, really sit down and just turn your brain off. What problem is going on that either A, you can fix yourself or B, you can make? That's a business. Solve a need.
Advice.
If you see a need, solve it. Do the thing that nobody wants to do or nobody is willing to do, and you will be successful.
That's a really good advice actually. And and that gets me to my other question about business actually. When you develop a product or an idea, what's your plan to reach your target audience? Do you cultivate a plan to reach that audience? Do you deal with promotion, a lot of marketing, or how do you get the word out?
Well, if it's an idea, then we have to go a little bit backwards. The idea has to then be used against a demographic. Like, who would benefit from that? Where can we find that? What do we have to say to get that demographic to look at it? If we just think of the demographic itself and then we ask, how do we market to that? Then we have to do a reverse engineer it. Like, where are these people spending their time? What are they looking at? What are they scrolling on? What are they searching? What's a big priority to them? How can we tap into what it is that they're doing that we can say that'll grab their attention? So there's all these things that go into it, but when we're going after a demographic, right? I'm looking at every aspect of them, their age group, their sex breakdown, their sexual breakdown. I wanna understand this market segment of how they move, how they think, and then I can tailor my answer to that. Or if it's a product, I think of the product as best as it could be, and then I ask, "All right, who could use this?" And believe it or not, sometimes it fizzles out with nothing.
Right. But that sounds interesting. I I make music sometimes, and I don't know if I could call my songs a product, but sometimes you have to get the word out, and it's so hard to reach the right audiences sometimes when you cultivate like a promotion tactic. But I'll try to take your advices. I'm getting good advice from this.
So, your music is a product. It's a product of who you are, right?
Yeah.
If I was to listen to your song and say something mean and nasty about it, you would take offense to it because that's part of who you are. It's a byproduct of your imagination, your creativity, and the effort that you put into it. So, in effect, it is a product. Now, is it a good product? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good product. You think it's a good product. So, how do you test it? Well, you test it by sending it out to as many people as you want. You post it on YouTube. You give it a hashtag. What type of genre is it? Is it metal? Is it reggae? Is it rap? Is it hip hop? Is it blues? Is it soul? Is it bachata, merengue? Whatever it might be. Now you just target it. Now you say Maida bachata, background music. All right. So somebody searching for Spanish background music might look at that. How you think about your product is how you're going to tailor it.
Yeah.
So for us, 24-hour customer service is unilaterally across small businesses, college students, working moms, senior citizens, but who we deal with the most are senior citizens. So we target that and we message that. And we deal with the real number behind that, which is the families, which is your mother, you helping out your grandmother, not wanting to do it. So we tailor a message to that as well. Because at the end of the day, really and truly, what matters is that there's somebody that knows that when there's a problem, there is somebody you can call. Now, whether that's your grandmother or whether that's your mother or whether that's you, knowing in the back of your mind that there is a 24-hour hotline 7 days a week, okay, worst comes to worst, I can always call Tech Rescue. It's a psychological aspect that we try to have to be the name brand. And that's our goal is to be, don't worry about it, mom. I have Tech Rescue for you. That's how you become a name brand. That's how you become an action item. You're synonymous with 24-hour customer service, 24-hour taking care, 24-hour help hotline, 24-hour it gets done. when you do it over and over and over and over again, you find out and you fine tune and you get their messaging right. But it takes practice and practice and practice and practice. And believe it or not, you gotta have some thick skin because not everybody's gonna like what you have. That's the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah, absolutely. How did you come up with this idea of Tech Rescue? What, what actually
Started it all.
sparked the idea?
My father came into the kitchen one night and asked, "How do you forward an email?" And I was like, "Dad, how do you not know how to forward an email?" And he got frustrated and walked away. And I said, "Dad, I'll help you. I got it. All right, I got it." And I came back and I looked at mom. I was like, "How does somebody not know how to forward an email? Like that makes no sense." But what I found was, as we went through this process, 74% of seniors have 65 and older, that's about 90 million Americans, have smartphone technology, but 62% of that feel uncomfortable with technology. So they
Yeah.
have it, they just feel uncomfortable with it because it moves at a speed that they're not comfortable with. So we
Yeah.
have the devices, they just don't know what they're doing with them.
Yeah. I mean, I had my mom once, sorry to interrupt you, but I just had to tell you this one. You reminded me of my mom once coming to me and telling me to send an email to her boss, and I was trying to help her, and she's like, "Don't touch here, don't touch there, don't do this, don't." I'm like, "Mom, do you want me to help you or not?" No. And then she's like, "But wait, because this is very important to me, because I'm gonna get fired if I don't do it the right way." And then I'm like, "Okay, fine, but let me help you because this is how you do it." But she's like, "But no, don't do that." And then I'm like, "Okay, I give up." And then she's like, and she's like, "But help me." And I'm like, "Okay, but let me help you." In this moment, actually, I could have used Tech Rescue.
Probably you probably could have used Tech Rescue. You probably could have used us. We get calls, we get everything and everything. And what I found most interesting is that at the end of the day, people just want to connect. People just want to know that there's somebody that cares. And unfortunately, the way that business is being built today, we're building multi-trillion dollar companies that do not care about their customers. Try to get
That's
somebody on the phone. Try to get an email to one of the big industries, your bank, your insurance, Facebook Meta. Try to get somebody to help you. You can't.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, like just the most like just for instance, the simplest one, the customer services in every company. I think they could do a lot of work with customer service because there's always somebody who barely wants to do their work and barely wants to answer you. Okay, wait in the line. I'm going to put you to somebody else, and they can help you, but they don't want to help you. So that's actually I think maybe a hiring problem also when you hire people they probably present as somebody they're not. I don't know, you have more experience than me about that. I've never hired anybody.
I'll just say this. When you don't have contact information, you're less likely to be sued for liability, for liable. So if you can't get in touch with somebody, you're less likely to get sued. So that's one aspect. Second, not everybody's meant for customer service. It's a very intense job. It's a very aggressive job. But if you find value in helping people in the most toughest situations, if you find value that you're almost like the Coast Guard, you come in at the worst situations in the worst possible ways and you save the day. If that's something that you enjoy, then customer service might be something that you really want to look into. Not everybody's meant for it.
No, yeah, I totally agree. Or like I remember once I wanted to join the suicide lifeline, and that is something that I wouldn't get any money from, but I wanted to do it just because I wanted to be
So if you
helpful.
became a millionaire, EMT.
What did you say?
So if you became a multi millionaire, you would do that just for free.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I wanted to do it, but I think it had some sort of requirements. I think I was 21 when I wanted to do that, and it said that I had to be 23. in order to be able to do that. And when I became 23, I thought about it actually, but then I was like, I'm also gonna, if I deal with that every day, I'm not mentally capable to do that maybe right now at this moment because I was dealing with some of my own issues. And I was thinking, I'm not going to be able to help them or myself in that case because I'm just, if I hear about those dark stories every day, I'm probably going to feel worse myself. I guess my altruistic self did not win that day.
You may have actually done yourself a favor though in the end.
I
Takes
think so too.
it
Because I
takes
don't
some
think I could
time.
have been a help to somebody if I wasn't okay myself.
Yeah, that's sometimes the hardest lessons that we learn are the ones that we don't want to learn. And as I said, not everything comes in the way that you expect it, but you still get an answer.
Eh, as a CEO, what do you think it is the best quality a CEO should possess?
Openness.
Openness.
So when I was in
As
grad
in-
school, one of my professors told me you can be right or you can be rich, but you can't. It's very rare that you can be both. Young entrepreneur, any real entrepreneur, has a vision of the company, and sometimes our vision and reality clash with the market. The market dictates everything. So you may think you have the best company in the world. You may think that it looks amazing. It sounds amazing. You get to the market, nobody touches you.
It's all about demand.
The market will tell you where it wants to be. The market will tell you. No other thing in the world will tell you what you need to be except for the market. And if you put yourself out there for 6, 7, 8, 9 months and you're advertising and you're going outside and you're trying to be noticeable, you're doing everything that you possibly can to get the word out. After 9 months, you're still not making a single dollar, then the market just holds you what it thinks. You're done.
Yeah, it's not in demand. But what do you think about these trends that are happening? Like for instance, in TikTok, there's like the weirdest things becoming trends. Like I don't know if you've seen the Labubu toy or something. It's like a toy that looks like a little monster, and all of a sudden that just becomes trendy, and everybody wants it. Like there's no use to it or anything. I find it totally like
Well,
crazy.
we've shifted from a conventional economy to an emotional economy, and we're a reactive purchaser. So we make decisions emotionally than we do logically, and we're a reactive purchaser. So when something becomes a trend, we don't. It seems like fear of losing out. FOLO is still being in effect. Fear of losing out. Um, I'm not surprised because there's this lack of identity in the world. People are not comfortable in their own skin. So if you're not comfortable in your own skin, you're going to follow every trend, whether it makes sense or not, because you don't want to be excluded. That's more of a sociological issue. That's more of a sociological and a society problem than anything else. We valued that type of mentality over everything else. And, it's chickens have come home to roost.
Do you think a businessman that would, or a businesswoman that would actually take advantage of things like this that are trendy and take
There are plenty
yeah,
of things that you can take advantage of. You just got to know how to do it. And it's not going to be something grand. You're going to get a day or two out of it, and that's it. And you might get maybe three, four ideas and products. But remember, the market is not stupid. Shame on me once, shame on me twice. Third time, shame on you.
that's what I was gonna ask you, but you read my mind because I was gonna ask you if they are in the long run going to have any success, but it feels like just a money grab situation.
Perfect example are the cat earphones. You know, the earphones that have the cat ears.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
How many pairs do people have? Probably not more than two
I have none.
or none. But that was a multi-million dollar BS scam. It was a BS scam. It was a Dollar Tree type headphone with some furry ears hot glued onto it. You don't see Bose or Beats or Skull Candy having these little ears in their display cases, do you? No. There you go. Of
Definitely not. I always feel like these situations are just like money grab situations,
course they are. They are money. They're cheap. It's cheap, fast money.
but that's no success in the long run. That feels just like fast money,
That here's the question then what do you define as success? Because if money is the
something
object
that
of success
lasts.
and you get money, then ipso facto, you're successful.
Well, if you think of it like that, then
Well, then what's the point of business?
I feel like the point of business is doing something tangible, something something like you're doing, something that could last, something that helps people.
It
Success
does,
is,
but money drives the world, and if I wasn't concerned about money, I would have started a nonprofit.
yeah, that's true. But at the same time, if you were looking for only a money grab situation, you would have not thought about how to help other people.
True, but I'm also egotistical, and I'm that type of person, and
But you're
selfishness
the
is
good
good.
kind of
Well, here's the
egotistical,
thing.
I would say.
I have so my quest is, in a way, immortality. In a weird way of saying it is immortality. You don't
Like your
get
name
immortality by
being
being
immortal?
selfish. What?
Do you mean by your name being immortal, like you
Yeah,
live
that's the
limitlessly?
only way that you can be immortal. That is
Yeah,
the
that's what I meant because we
yeah.
have this guy out there, Brian Johnson, who is really trying to be immortal. If you've heard about him, I don't know.
You don't get there by being selfish. Nobody remembers the selfish. But if you build and people if you build for others that you yourself don't get to enjoy, then you're setting yourself up very, very well for a chance at immortality. And whether that's a selfish reason, whether that's a religious reason or a good reason, the results are still the same. The 1987's movie, Wall Street with Gordon Gekko, greed is good. Greed is the fuel in which all innovation is designed. It's just how is it used? There's nothing wrong with the pursuit of greatness and money. It's just what do you do with it? That all that matters at the end.
The thing is also, how do you get there? It's like, are you using very, because we're all humans and we make mistakes, but do you get there in a nasty way or do you get there in a
Well, what do you
ethical,
define
good
it?
way?
Well, here's the thing in business, what do you define as nasty? Because in business, there's only one rule. It's survival. It's
I
survival.
guess, I don't know,
Because
like there could be different
if you're
scenarios.
not taking market share, you're losing market share, which means somebody's winning. At the end of the day, if you start a business, you're going to have competition, and then one of two things are going to happen: either you're going out of business or they're going out of business. Somebody can both cannot win. And then
But
you
if
ask
you,
yourself, well, what about McDonald's and Burger King? Well, McDonald's McDonald's spends the money to do the research on locations for their real estate. Burger King just copies them. Wherever there's a McDonald's, there's a Burger King within a 3-mile radius. That's strategy. They know that they're not going to spend the money on being the best and the first, but they'd rather survive and stay on the heels and ride that wake. There are many ways to do it. So instead of competing with their enemy, they're using their enemy.
yeah, that could be also a tactic. Is your business thriving or surviving?
We're starting to thrive, which means that eventually we're going to have people in our space, and one or two things are going to be true. Either A, we're going to share the space, or B, we're going to be bullies and we're going to hold it down for ourselves. We want to be the biggest in the space. So
Then I guess you're gonna take B.
we'll do B. But it's because I'd rather be the one on top than trying to fight my way on top.
I totally agree. But
That's that's business. That's as at the end of the day, you want to do two things. Either A, you want to do charity work, or B, you want to run a business. You can't do both.
well, you could run the business and maybe do charity on the side.
Charity is charity. That's completely different. Charity is charity. That's completely different. Business is business. It's survival.
What drives you more, the financial success of the company you lead, the mission your company strives to accomplish, or simply your passion for your company?
I had to know if I was right. I had a hypothesis. I had a hypothesis about our company, and the money is the byproduct of it. I just had to know if I was right. I had to ask this question, and I had to see it through to the end. Right or wrong, I had to see it to the end.
I like the mindset. I really do. There are a few guests I have actually discussed AI with, and since you're very involved in technology with your company and everything, do you see it as a danger or a threat to society or even to your company?
To our business, no, we're not really. We're probably going to be using AI as a tool,
Hmm.
but our competition wouldn't be AI. There's things that a computer can't do with a human. It can't be sympathetic. It can't be empathetic. It can't really talk somebody down off of having a bad day. Number two, AI is Pandora's box. We let this thing out of the box. There's no going back. So what we have to do is we have
Yeah,
to adapt to it. We have to ask different type of questions. AI is going to change the world in many different ways for good and bad because just like a gun, just like the bomb, it's all about who's wielding it. So I see the next 10, 15, 20 years, medical breakthroughs, surgical procedure breakthroughs, new physics being studied because the computing power of AI plus quantum computers is going to make the most complicated problems that were impossible to solve solvable. We're going to be learning a lot more about what we don't know. And I think what's really interesting is I think we're coming to the point where we know everything about everything that we can know until we start asking new questions. No
yeah,
new questions have been asked.
yeah. But yeah, I see AI a little bit like if we are the ones who actually found it, if humans found it, then I think that we could pull that cable off or do something that actually turns it off. So I
My
don't know
only
if
ar-
I'm
my
illogical
only
in that
argument to that
sense.
my only argument to that is why there are no gun lobby laws in the United States.
Why there are no
Gun lobby laws. We just had a school shooting and a church shooting, and yet we don't have any gun lobby laws. So the idea of pulling out the plug, we could pull the plug on firearms just like Australia did.
that's actually very unfortunate. There's I don't know about the gun situation in the US. It's very foreign to me for the fact that here in Sweden, we're not allowed to carry guns. We're not allowed to even carry pepper spray to we're only allowed to carry pepper spray to a certain amount. And I just think of it this way, like, yes, it's good to be able to protect yourself, but also, um, why aren't there stricter laws? Like, why is somebody just able to go in a store and buy a gun? To
Money
me, it sounds a little I don't know if it's just the European in me or
is well, it's the European in you, and it's also the capitalist side that you don't see. So f- gun lobbyists make millions. It's incredible how much money the firearm industry makes in the United States. Two, it's our culture. We were built. Our entire society was based off of guns and
guns,
alcohol.
alcohol.
A bunch of guys got really drunk at a bar in Boston, dressed up like Indians, and dumped tea into the river. And then we all got together, got really drunk, and then we got rowdy, and the government sent forces over to calm us down, which was the British government. And we got more drunk and rowdy, and we took over. And we've been doing that ever since.
Wow. I mean, that's an interesting topic to be on. Do you own a gun? If I can ask
No,
that, you have to
no,
answer.
I personally don't own a gun.
Would you, um, are you with somebody? Like, are you in a relationship?
No,
Would you be with somebody who owns a gun?
I mean, I don't see an issue with it. I mean, being an American, having a gun is as common as pens in a house.
Really?
Yeah. The average
Okay.
American has 2.3 guns for every citizen that we have here in the United
Wow.
States.
I'm
Yeah, we're
moving to
like
US
2.3,
technology.
2.7. Yeah, we're like 2.3, 2.7 for every man, woman, and child in the United States.
Interesting. I mean, I would love to know how to shoot one, but if I would be able to have one, I don't know. I probably would.
There are many groups that utilize firearms for recreational purposes, hunting, shooting, skeet, practice. I mean, there's many different aspects. I mean, I don't have the issue with guns. I just have the people that use guns. I have the
Yeah,
problem.
that's the thing. That's the thing.
Listen, a
Uh,
gun and technology are the same thing. With a code or a virus, you can shut down a lot of different things. You can do a lot of damage with code. You do a
yeah,
lot of damage with a bullet.
yeah,
All it is the person behind the mouse or the trigger.
that's true. That's true. There's also biological weapons. I don't know how we got here, but I guess this is a rabbit hole. Like,
We fell down a rabbit hole. The point is that technology will advance. Technology will keep getting better. Technology will keep getting scarier. What we're finding out in the world is that are we ready to handle that kind of power? Are we ready to handle that kind of technology? That's the question. And I think we still got a little bit more maturing to do. I think we got a lot more growing up to do. Um, but I do see technology as leading us out of a bad situation that we've put ourselves in. It's the only way that we can get ourselves out because we can't do this ourselves. We're going to need to use every tool that we've built to help us move our society in the right direction. And that's using technology for the betterment, that's getting off of this planet, that's exploring the stars, that's expanding our culture, our race, our species. Because at the end of the day, we are a species that's stuck on a rock and we can't go anywhere.
do you think we're gonna be able to take off of this planet?
Oh, without a doubt. I have no
Really?
doubt about that whatsoever.
How to go off from guns and stuff like that? How do you balance daily life and work? Working as a CEO, I imagine it must be a lot of hard work. Do you have any tips for people in your
I
same?
utilize my Google Calendar very effectively. I have notes, sticky pads. I keep a very tight schedule. Google Calendar makes things a lot easier on a lot of things, and it's not as busy as you think it is because I delegate my work to the right people. I don't try to micromanage. I don't try to hover over people. The best advice I can give any CEO or young entrepreneur is hire the people that are good at what they like what they do, and they believe in what you do. You get all those things together, you'll have great employees. And you'll have people that are going to push your vision because they believe in it.
Good. You've driven growth in your company through strategic partnerships, you said. What qualifies a good partnership? And also, how do you go about securing a good partnership with your respective partners that you pick?
So you have to ask yourself, what can they provide and what can we provide? And if it's mutual, then it's going to be a personality fit. Once you have that, if everybody's on the same page, you can help each other out. That's an easy partnership. In order to go about a partnership, ask yourself, what is it that you need and who can deliver it for you? And then ask yourself, what is it that you can deliver to them that they need? Now you have a partnership. Now you have something that you can trade. It sounds simple enough, but that's what you're trading.
Yeah,
Effort, time, skill, or resources. If you don't have any of those effort, time, skills, or resources, then what are you talking to these people for?
yeah, yeah. Now, this might be a tricky one, but how do you negotiate on your own terms? Is there a technique behind it or just a gift some people have?
So people usually come up in three categories. Uh, they try to hide their intentions, they bluff their intentions, or they fully show their intentions. There's usually three types of characters. I like the people that show their intentions because at least I know exactly what I'm dealing with right off the bat. The next thing I like is knowing myself. What is it that I'm trying to accomplish? When you have that conversation with yourself, what are we trying to accomplish? Why are we here? everything else will fall in line, because if you're not clear about what it is that you're looking to achieve or what you want, you're going to find yourself in positions that you don't want because you didn't have the boundaries or the channel to get you to where you wanted to be. You have to put the channel up. You have to put the boundaries up.
That that leads me to another question is I've thought about I've never been a CEO, so I thought about this. When you go in front of the board and you are trying to present your ideas and your results in front of the company's board, how does that go on about and how do you deal with the stress if you have any?
Well, dealing with the board is always stressful. Um, Open communication with them all the time helps. They get weekly reports, they get quarterly reports, so we're always in email conversations, phone call conversations, so that when it's time for the actual board presentation, there's nothing really new that they're going to be surprised with. So then we just have an opportunity to discuss it as the board and see what our next steps would be. The easiest thing to do is have an open policy. Let them know what you're doing and, get feedback. Everybody likes to be involved and nobody likes being just to feel like a wallet.
Yeah. So involvement is
Yeah,
one of the key
big
things
ones.
you gotta look out for. Yeah. Well, now beyond business and technology, you mentioned in your bio that you are an adventurer with property in Bogota, Colombia.
Bogota, Colombia. I love South America. I love going.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you why exactly Bogota? Is there any like roots there or it's just
No,
a
no,
big city?
no. It was a bachelor party trip that I
Really?
yeah, it was a bachelor party trip that I fell in love with the country. I fell in love with the music, the food, the culture. It was vibrant. It was a lot different than New York. I mean, we have some of the flavor to it, but it was just I enjoyed myself in a way that I've never enjoyed myself in any other place, the States. And from there, I've explored Qatar, I've explored Kenya, Tanzania, Saudi Arabia, Peru.
Wow.
The thing I can say to anybody is get out of the United States. Leave the United States for at least 3 weeks, see the rest of the world, understand the rest of the world. It's a really big place. It is a really, really big place. And when you leave the United States, you realize that you leave the dome. We live in a dome. We do. We live in a dome. We live in an echo chamber dome, and you
Why
gotta.
do you say that?
We live with rose painted glasses on all the time. We think we have a very strong opinion of ourselves. We have a very strong opinion of the rest of the world. And when you leave for a good period of time, like at least 3 weeks, y something magical happens. The glasses come off, and then you see the rest of the world, and you look back at America, and you're like, "Huh." Well, to give you an example, right? I've had this argument. "Well, don't you find Colombia dangerous?" Okay. How many school shootings has Colombia had in 20 years? 0.
Good
How
point.
many church shootings? 0. How many mall shootings? 0. Um, well, what about the kidnapping? Last time I did my math, there's 52,000 migrant children that are still missing, so where are the
God,
kids?
what the hell?
Yeah. So when somebody says somewhere else is more dangerous than the United States, I ask, "Where have you been?"
Yeah. My friend told me actually that she said, let's go to Mexico for a girls' trip. And I have heard all of these things about Mexico and from TV and stuff like that. And I was like, well, we're
Mexico's a
women.
very, very big country. Where in Mexico? There's Puerto Escondido, there's Punta Cana, there's Carmen, there's Mexico City, there's Santander. I mean, Mexico is a very, very big place.
Yeah, yeah. I think I was naive and I was like, I don't know. I've heard that it's very dangerous there.
Can be.
Um,
It can be very dangerous. It can be very dangerous in the United States, and yet America boasts itself as the gold standard.
yeah, that's true. I never thought about it that way, actually.
We just had 3 shootings this past weekend across 3 different cities,
That's so crazy.
but yet we boast that we're the gold standard. As I said, when somebody says something, I ask, "Where have you been?"
That's really good. I mean, that changed my perspective, actually, because I haven't thought about it that way before.
As a The world is a very big place, and Tech Rescue is there because we can be anywhere in the world. So you can go and travel, and we can be with you when an emergency happens.
We make it
Being
international.
Yeah, as long as you have data and Wi-Fi, we can get to you, and the entire world is connected. We have 9 billion people on the planet, and 7 billion of them have a smartphone.
That's true. That's true. Smartphones make it a small world when you look at it like that, because we can connect to anyone, anywhere in the world that has Wi-Fi and a smartphone.
What was a sailboat that took almost 18 months to get to Japan, I can get to Japan in 16 hours.
That's true. I wanted to ask you, since you have a property in Colombia, I wanted to ask you, what is something about the culture in Colombia that is different from the culture in the US that you love?
They're not obsessed with TV.
They're not obsessed with TV.
They go out, they go dancing. When I'm in Colombia, I don't stay home.
Wow, that's
I'll
awesome.
have dinner, and then I'll go out, and I won't come back until maybe 1, 2 in the morning, and
Wow.
I've been at a cafe, and people will push the tables aside, and it'll turn into a dance hall. A restaurant can turn into a
Wow.
dance hall at any given moment.
Well, that sounds like a movie.
It is. And
I wanna be
that's
in the
their
movie. I wanna
culture.
live the movie. I don't wanna watch the movie.
That's their culture. As I said,
That's so good.
it's a big world out there. There's a lot of wonderful places to visit. There's something beautiful and different about everybody. The food is fantastic. There's I say to everybody, go out, explore the world. It's cheaper than it's ever been. I know
What's your
plane tickets
favorite,
are expensive, but relatively speaking, in the history of mankind, travel has never been cheaper as an existence of our as a people.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, you could work a little bit of overtime, and go to some place that will make you feel so I mean, for me, myself, and I, when I travel, I am the happiest person ever. I don't know, there is just something that exploring new cultures and meeting new people just makes me feel so good.
Yeah,
It's
it's a great
something about it. I
it's
don't know.
it's it's expanding your horizons. That's a beautiful thing. That's what Tech Rescue is all about, is allowing people to have the ability to do things that they didn't think that they could do before. Technology is scary, technology is hard, and it's frustrating, and there's a senior population that doesn't understand it. That's why we're here. Just like you enjoy getting out to see new people and try new things, we have a population of people that just want to connect and they don't know how to, and that's why Tech Rescue is here. And we do that. We help people get connected to each other so grandparents can talk to grandchildren, kids can talk to their friends. We're there. At the end of the day, the world just wants to connect.
That's awesome. I wanna have, um, 2 more questions for you.
Sure.
As a self-described challenge seeker, how do you push your limits without getting burned out?
Where's your limit?
What did you say?
Where's your limit?
I
You're not
mean,
gonna be you don't know where your burnout limit is until you test it.
and that's a good one. I really like your mentality. I
Where's your
understand why
limit?
you're the CEO.
Where's your limit? You're saying where you burnout limit, where's your limit? Where do you when you start getting uncomfortable, that's not your limit. That's just the beginning of it. That's just the beginning. Now we find out what you're made out of. If you want to be a CEO and you want to be an entrepreneur, you're gonna find your uncomfortable zone and you're gonna go way past it. You're gonna go
That's
way past it.
yeah. What's your advice to somebody aspiring to be as successful as you are? And if you have any message, um, now that we have approached the end of our interview.
Make sure you want this. Make sure you want this more than anything in the world because this will test you. You're gonna lose girlfriends, you're gonna lose boyfriends, you're gonna lose family members, you're gonna lose friends, you're gonna lose time, you're gonna lose money, you're gonna lose projects. If you want to have this, you want to have the Willy Wonka golden ticket for life, it is going to cost you everything you know and then some. If everybody was successful at it, everybody would be doing it, and not everybody does it. And if you think those drop shippers or uh self-improvement plan guys are what you should be emulating, go right ahead. You can try, see how far that gets you. But if you want something tangible and you want something that's actually going to make it, you're going to have a very, very long road ahead of you. And you better believe in it because you will be tested. And most people fail it because they don't believe in themselves.
It was such a lovely conversation, Andrew. It was awesome to hear about your experiences and your journey as a CEO. And I got so much beautiful advice that I will actually, I promise that I will use it. And I hope that the audience also had a lovely time. Thank you so much for your time and continue
Course.
to be the person you are because we need more people like you in the world.
I'm hoping for something better. I'm hoping for guys better than me. The guys that are gonna the guys and girls that are gonna be looking at the world a little bit less capitalistic than where we are now, because that's what we need to do. We need to go a little bit more in the opposite direction. Not everything needs to be the most profitable. Not everything needs to be the most everything. I think we're at a point where I think we've proven that we as a people don't like absolute optimization. We don't like the absolute minimalist. I think we like having somebody to talk to. I think we like having the comforts of each other.
Mhm.
And I think people are willing to pay a little bit more for that.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. Well, Andrew, it's been lovely to have this conversation.
It
Thank
was
you
a
so
pleasure.
much for joining me, and
Thank you.
you're welcome anytime.
Please invite me again.
Well, goodbye. I'm going to stop the recording. And thanks to everyone who has been listening to us. And don't forget to follow Andrew and maybe contact his tech rescue company if you
You can
need his
find
help.
us you can find us at www.techrescue.io or call us 24 hours, 7 days a week at 855-250-8586.
And also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Evolve with Maida, or TikTok, Evolve with Maida. And you can also watch us on YouTube or on Spotify. And until next time and next episode, I hope you have a very great time. I